Welcome to Blackout 2.0. Well, the beginning of the 2.0 upgrade. This is a free upgrade for all users, no matter if you've had the app for 3 years or 3 days. Everyone gets this, and I'm going to go over all of the fun features in this video. First things first, sorry, but we've redone so much of the app. Any old show files that you have in the previous versions will not work in this version. It's also best to delete and reinstall the app. If you experience any super weird things going on, delete and reinstall is your best friend. This will get rid of all of your old projects, so beware if you're in the middle of a show. Once you're in the app, you'll see we've totally redone the profile login system. You now verify your account as you log in, and that will register the device as one of your 2 allotted devices for your account. You can log into another iPad, that could be someone else's iPad, with a completely different Apple ID. Because your Blackout account, it's like a Netflix login. It's its own system with its own verification. Now, if you have filled up your 2 devices and want to deactivate one, you just need to log out of that device, and it will automatically remove that device from your account, freeing up one more iPad slot. Obviously, you have to be connected to the internet in order for the deauthorization to take place, so the app won't let you log out without being online. So no more frantic emails to me where you find yourself locked out of your account or in the middle of a set needing to verify your account. Second, you're going to notice we've moved the settings to a much more convenient place within the app. So the only thing you should need to do here is create and import or export your projects from these opening screens. And we're about to make this a whole lot more convenient to access when we refresh the UI. Okay, now diving into the app, you will notice we are in the middle of a UI refresh. The first thing you might notice is that we have changed channel everywhere to say fixture, as this is a much more appropriate term for all of the LED fixtures we are controlling. You'll also notice that we have a completely new command keypad in the new UI style, and this is going to allow you a lot more control over your fixtures. You can do things like fix 1, copy to fix 2 if color now, which would just copy over the color parameters to your new destination. We don't have a ton of new commands incorporated yet, but our goal is to release a couple every week, so stay tuned. You'll also notice we have added a lot of buttons to have command line access to your saved items, such as groups, looks, favorites, and this is to allow them to be used in macros, which we will be revamping throughout this 2.0 update. If you can't input a command, it's likely we have yet to implement it, but please post on the Facebook group or shoot me an email and let me know what hot commands you are looking to add to Blackout. Next up, the table view. This is something I have been waiting for forever. It allows you to see all of your parameters of your lights in one table or spreadsheet view. You no longer have to tap and hold a fixture pillbox to see what color temperature your light is at, or if one in a group is incorrectly set. You can tap in any cell and edit directly. Want to type in DMX values directly? You can easily do this through the DMX view. Now, we are still working on the 16-bit conversions, but I think you'll find this quite useful in certain scenarios. Okay, now for the 2 biggest features we've added to Blackout: faders and sequences. Now, before you ask, yes, MIDI is something we are working on right now, but it was just not ready to release. So hang tight because it's coming. I know, it's what makes faders awesome, but you'll need to be patient. MIDI will be our first paid upgrade, as it's another output out of the app and will make the app 10 times more powerful than it already is, even after this update. If you are new to faders, don't be shy, because I've spent a lot of time designing faders in the most intuitive way possible for all users, regardless of your experience on other consoles. My biggest complaint in learning other consoles is how hard and complicated faders can be, because they have so many configuration options, it's overwhelming. We've simplified it without losing the power and control that you want. I'm so excited to share this with you. I've taken inspiration from EOS, MA2, Onyx, and Hog. Special shout out to Dan Walters, who really helped me design the fader priorities in Blackout, which I think you are going to be blown away by. They are a completely new and revolutionary way of working, and I hope you find them just as refreshing as we do. Let's dive in. The The first thing I want to show you is how easy it is to get a fixture on a fader. Simply tap the select button above any fader and it will give you several options to directly load into the fader. Fixtures, groups, effects, and favorites. So let's start with fixtures. If you want to throw a fixture on a fader, now you can do that very easily. Just make your selection and then choose the parameter you want to be on the fader. Most of the time you are going to want intensity, which is auto-filled for you, but feel free to choose whatever suits your needs. Now, here's where you get to choose the priority of the fader, and in general, I would start this as LTP unless you want to inhibit values, which I will get to momentarily. LTP means latest takes precedence, and if you are new to lighting, this is one of the biggest concepts you need to learn because whatever you are touching last will take control. And this applies to the command line as well. Now, high is one step up from that. If I put a fader to high priority against an LTP fader, it will take precedence because it's a higher priority. So even if I turn off and then back on this LTP fader and touch it last, the high priority fader is still in control. Now above that is HTP, which is highest takes precedence. Now this works slightly differently as whatever is the highest value the fixture maintains. So if I have this at 90%, it doesn't matter what I do with the other faders, this HTP fader is the highest and will take priority. However, I could now drop this to 20% and you see the next highest value is in play. Above this is super priority, where whatever this is at is what your fixture is going to be at, and not even your command line can take over. And it can't be recorded into a look or sequence either. We do this so that you as a user have a surefire way to control a fixture that you absolutely want to control by a fader and nothing else. Perhaps a work light sub or a very important cue. Lastly, we have inhibitive faders. And right now you are setting the ceiling or the limit of what your fixture could hit. So if you never want your fixture 1 to go above 95%, this is how you would do this. This works across everything from the command line to looks to effects. The fixture will not go above 95%. There are also 2 buttons below the faders that you can set to be flash, temp, or toggle. Flash will flash the fader from wherever it is currently to 100% instantly as long as you have it pressed. Toggle will simply toggle the fader on and off, which would be the same as if you double tap the header on the fader. This also turns the fader on and off. But you can assign this action to a button for macrotizing it. The third option is temp, which is essentially the same thing as toggle, but with the ability to add timing into the mix. So if you preload the fader and want it to come up over 1 second, you can turn the fader off, then press the temp button, and it would take 1 second to crawl up to its value using the uptime. You can also set the downtime, so when you release it, it takes 2 seconds to come down. Or if you want to trigger it again, you can put this to manual and press the button again for the action to happen. These aren't fully working as expected right now, so please be patient as we work them out. However, if you do have more suggestions, please shoot over to the Facebook group and let me know. Okay, lastly, sequences. This is where your faders get superpowers. We have now integrated multiple cue lists in Blackout. What this means is now when you record, you have an option to record the entire output as always, or your selection, or just the manual changes, or just your manual changes within your selection. This should allow you to really specify what you want recorded into a sequence, and with the right priority set, can be incredibly useful for programming a live event or show or specific effect on set. Like I said, even the command line is LTP, unless you have freeze on. To enable freeze, you double tap freeze and press enter. This enables your console to now be a super priority. So whatever you type in, if I take fixture 4 and put this at full, that value is now frozen. And if I play through any looks, that value is going to stay frozen. To get out of freeze, you just double tap freeze and press enter. Now that value is a manual red value that you are able to save somewhere else. So please explore and let me know what works well or what you change by emailing me or posting in our Facebook group. I hope you enjoyed the update.